Hello, beautiful woman. I am truly honored to be able to share with you the birthing of Embrace Her, a 3-month online journey where we dive deep into the depths of the ancient teachings and wisdom of the sacred feminine. Embrace Her is an invitation for every woman to awaken her feminine spirit, the beauty way, the feminine way. When we walk in beauty, we are walking in harmony with all living things. Living authentically means that we allow spirit to dictate our next movements. To walk in beauty is unique to each and every single woman. She will embody her unique divine blueprint that's specifically designed for her. And Embrace Her is an invitation to live your most beautiful life, to sing your song, to create your melody, to birth your creative masterpiece. This way of life hails back from the lost divine feminine lineages and is now being returned back to the world. So we are needing to reclaim the wisdom and the power of the feminine, but we are also needing to embody our masculine. So our actions that we send forth out into the world, they need to be guided by that intuitive, receptive wisdom of the feminine. And in Embrace Her, we'll be going through this journey all together. And we are really going to be cultivating the feminine energy, which is orgasmic. You know, she is love, she is flow, she is sensuality, she is compassion, she's intuitive. And through cultivating that energy, we can then magnetize our relationships, our partners, our empires, our desires, our dreams, the feminine way. So this is a 3-month online journey. And the first month is all around grounding and womb connection. A woman who is living in her feminine is a woman who is grounded within her body. She is living in her body, she loves her body, and she feels safe in her body. She is also deeply connected to her emotions, and she feels safe to feel. In Embrace Her, we'll be diving into grounding techniques and methods to anchor ourselves into our bodies through meditation, through morning practices, through prayer, through altars, through dance and embodied movements. And I am a lover of music, so I have some beautiful playlists to share with all of you. So a woman who is not anchored in her body and feels safe within her body will find it very challenging to connect with her womb, her sexuality, and her sensuality. So in Embrace Her, we are cultivating the right terrain so that we feel safe and anchored in our bodies to therefore then connect with our sexuality and sensuality. Then moving to the next module, we'll be looking at womb connection and womb purification. As women, we store a lot of our trauma, whether it be sexual trauma or past life trauma, within our womb space. And we store this in our deepest tissues, in our cervix. So in Embrace Her, I will be showing you various tools and techniques in how to unblock that energy that we store in our womb space. I was fortunate to receive a womb cleansing ritual which was gifted to me by a woman that I met in Bali, and she received this womb purification from a lineage of medicine women from the jungle. And I will be sharing this ritual with all of you ladies, and it is hugely powerful in purifying our womb space so that we become a clear channel for the feminine spirit. The next module is around the moon mysteries, our menstrual cycle. And this is a really, really big module because part of the feminine is tuning in with your menstrual cycle. So we know as women, we are so connected to the moon. And as soon as we start connecting with nature, our menstrual cycles start connecting with the different phases of the moon. And you also get a whole bunch of women to live together in one house. And all of a sudden, every single one of those women, their menstrual cycle is syncing up. So with our menstrual cycle, we're going to be tracking our cycle. We're going to be understanding our menstrual cycle in the different phases, the different energies that each single phase provides, and how we can sync up with that energy and be our most productive self in that particular phase. So the feminine way, a woman who is embodying her feminine is syncing up to her menstrual cycle and the energy of the phase of her cycle, and she is going in flow with that. So I love this module and this section, and I love assisting women to really deeply connect with their menstrual cycle in a way that they have never. And that leads me to the last part of our menstrual cycle. We're going to be partaking in a blood ritual using our menstrual blood as we give that to Mother Earth, but more into that in the course. The next module is around sensuality and sexuality. And this is a really big, juicy module. And through essential practice, we're going to dive into bath rituals, breast massages, drawing on ancient techniques. We're going to be looking at self-pleasuring exercises because the feminine is orgasmic. She's actually multi-orgasmic. So we're going to be looking at the yoni, looking at the anatomy of the yoni, really getting to develop a really deep, intimate, beautiful relationship with her. Through cultivating this sexual energy and harnessing that energy, then we can manifest, we can birth life through that energy. We can birth a creative project, our dreams, our empires, consciously and through the feminine and through that sexual energy. So I so look forward to diving deep into the depths of our yoni verse and exploring her. The next module will reclaim our inner power and strength and activate our voices. So by the works of Carl Jung, we're going to be looking at the 7 feminine archetypes, and each and every single archetype has her own energy and her own personality, and we have all 7 of them. So we're going to be integrating all 7, looking at which archetypes we need to harness and cultivate more of that energy, and perhaps which ones do we need to tone down. Some archetypes come a lot easier to some, and some are a little bit more difficult, but we need all 7 of these archetypes to fully feel in our feminine essence and energy. We then will be looking at voice activation. So we're going to be singing feminine medicine songs and mantra and creating a sisterhood circle where we really come together and we use our voices and we channel. We then will be looking at developing healthy boundaries. So the feminine needs healthy boundaries that creates a safe container for her to flow, for her to create. And then the last module, which is also one of my favorites, intuition and magic. So the feminine is intuitive. She's deeply intuitive. And how do we cultivate our intuition? So we are known to have psychic abilities. And there are 8 different clairs. They call them clairs, clairvoyant abilities. And we're going to touch on 1 or 2 and look at various exercises in which we can use to harness those abilities. The feminine is able to access her intuition, to access these higher dimensional realms where she can pull in wisdom from her highest timeline. So once we've worked on our grounding and our sensuality and our power and our voices, then we can actually access these higher realms. Our third eye, which allows us to tap into our intuition, allows us to access those psychic higher dimensional spaces. And lastly, we're going to birth a creative idea, project, song, piece of poetry. Whatever that may be for you, we're going to manifest that in our last module. And we would have cultivated so much beautiful feminine energy and practices through the journey up until this point that we can then harness and utilize that deep intuitive wisdom of the feminine and then really bring our project forth into the world in a feminine way. So ladies, if this course resonates with you, please reach out. Pop me an email on vanessa@vanessaholiday.com. If you wish to read more information, you can visit my website www.vanessaholiday.com. The course will start in September, and I so look forward to guiding you women through awakening the feminine spirit. Thank you so much for listening. So much love.